Good evening. Welcome to the In the Pits Racing News Truck Series at Michigan. We got 100 laps on tap tonight. I am Brian Haynes, and I'm joined up here in the booth with Adam Kuhn. How's it going tonight, Adam? Yeah, it's been really exciting. I've missed the past couple of weeks over the Thanksgiving holiday. I got to be in the broadcast booth for the first race, but I'm really excited to see what we got on tap tonight. Looks like we got a great field of top guys, and you know what's really interesting about tonight is that it's a fixed setup race. So really, it's wide open. It's anybody's race. Looking at the leaderboard right now, it looks like we have David Duran right now up at the top, followed by Matthew Rodriguez and Cameron Caldwell. Cameron Caldwell with Alonso Chicano are the admins and run this series, and they've really done a great job resurrecting it. We had one truck series, and then it kind of split off, and there's a lot of crossover between the two series, and it's been really great. I know I said this the first race of the season that it's really great to have uh, that that cooperation between the two series and seeing drivers jump back and forth and run both series. Yeah, it's really exciting here at Michigan for qualifying. I expect the times to be really close. With a fixed setup package, a 2 mile track. I mean, these guys are going to be flat footing it all the way around for these 2 laps. Yeah, 100%. Well, looks like we're getting ready to roll out right now. Guys starting to take qualifying times right now. Looks like we got the 62 of Zach Probst out there right now, getting ready to turn his qualifying lap. And these guys wasted no time. They're all jumping out on the track right now. Now, for the folks at home that are just tuning in, uh, all the drivers when they go out on the track for qualifying, they just have a clear track. One of the advantages of sim racing is we can qualify the entire field in 5 minutes and be done with it. So even though we can show each of the different drivers that are out onto the track, um, what they're seeing is just a clear, wide open track. Yeah, momentum is huge in these trucks. Even at the mile-and-a-half tracks, we see us having to run really high to get that engine spun up, really get it going. But what do you expect to see in the race tonight?
Truck Series in your life, and it just leads to wacky races and exciting finishes. We see that every year in real life, and certainly on the sim too. Truck Series in your life, and it just leads to wacky races and exciting finishes.
Yeah, it's one of the challenges here at Michigan is I think you're right, especially the first 10 laps of a run. You're going to see a lot of plate style racing, 2, 3 wide even. Michigan's a very wide track, especially down the front straightaway. But at some point, the tires are going to start wearing out. And Michigan's really tricky when that happens. You can barrel down into turn one, and that truck, by the time it hits the apex, is pointed straight at the wall.
Yeah, we saw at California a similar style track, and we saw plate racing at the first couple laps, and then once the tires started to wear out, everyone started to spread out, and it just mattered on how your truck handled, and I think we'll see that at the long run, as you mentioned.
Absolutely. So Adam, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. How are you involved in the Pits Racing News Truck Series?
Well, I run in the Pits News, and that's a news page on Instagram. It's kind of slowed down recently as I've done more writing for other websites, but it's exciting to sponsor several drivers in this league and sponsor the league itself. And now recently extending to the booth and was on pit road for the race at California, but being in the booth the last couple of weeks has been really fun with Josh, Engage, and now yourself. So it's very exciting and should be very fun tonight once again. And I mention it every week, but it's really fun just watching these guys every week just put it all on the line for the sim racing in the middle of the winter too. And that's just really fun what we can do with sim racing.
Yeah, well, that's something you and I both have in common is we're both title series sponsors. You're title series sponsor for this truck series, and starting at the beginning of this year and the next season with the Juggernaut series, I will be the title sponsor through my company Martin. So I don't know what they were thinking putting the two title sponsors of the truck series in the booth at the same time, but we got the call, and it's up to us tonight to make it exciting for everybody out there watching. And you're right. It is exciting to watch this and see these guys really put it all on the line. Uh, you know, there's these guys all and myself put a lot into this iRacing throughout the year, and it's really nice over the winter now that we're kind of F1 just ended, NASCAR ended a month and a half ago, or yeah, about a month and a half ago, and we have this opportunity to really just have racing and broadcast it, take part in it. So a lot of fun. So it looks like qualifying is all over with, and we got Matthew Rodriguez is starting on the pole, Brett Bennett in the 47 starting second. We have Clarence Felder starting third, Joey Chapman in fourth, Cameron Caldwell starting fifth, Alonso Chicano starting sixth, Justin Durand starting seventh, Dalton Kelly starting eighth, Alexander Kerfan starting ninth, and David Duran starting 24th. So that's your top 10 starters. Um, so who do you got for this race?
I'll go with the 77 of Clarence Felder. He's right there in that Ford F-150. He's had a solid season so far, pretty quiet. Only one top five this year that came at California, like I mentioned, similar track. So let's see what he can do. He's fourth in points and kind of an underdog, but let's see what he can do tonight.
Yeah, I'm probably going to give a nod to my co-team owner of BKM, Kyle Reuter. He's starting in 12th. Kyle is a very methodical racer, so I'm gonna pick him. I'm gonna little nepotism there. I'm gonna go in-house and call Kyle Reuter for the win tonight.
Not a bad pick. He's been pretty solid here recently, so good luck to yourself.
Yeah, he's carrying the BKM banner for us tonight. I was actually hoping to be in the race tonight with him, but Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I enjoy doing the booth. I like being up here. Like you said, it's another aspect of the iRacing to be involved in. You do the print media and the writing, which is phenomenal to be able to have that medium, and then to have the broadcasting, and then to hopefully soon for yourself be able to jump in one of these trucks and come out here and burn some laps with these guys.
Absolutely. As we see the field start to roll off now, should be exciting. 200 miles here tonight.
Yeah, it's 100 laps in some places goes by really quick. Here, it depending on how the cautions fall, it could be a quick night, or it could be a long night. But what I've seen out of both these truck series really really have really upped their game in the last probably 6 months, where the quality of the racing and the quality of the drivers, when there's an accident, it's usually something catastrophic has happened, or something really simple. It's rarely because of driver error. These guys are professionals. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, though, we've had a couple weeks in a row where we've had accidents on the first lap, so everyone's kind of worried about that as we get ready to start this race. I know this is also been the open track and the officials, and that's happened a lot in every practice race most guys have done, so should be hairy here on this opening lap, but let's see if these guys can make it work here. Pace truck's
Green
off.
flag, green flag.
Matthew Rodriguez is going to get to the line with Brett Bennett right there. Oh, they're going to take it 3 wide, going through turns 1 and 2. Matthew Rodriguez right up front, and Brett Bennett is right there on his rear deck lid. Clearance.
Yeah, it's Joey Chap. Oops, sorry, that was Joey Chapman who made it 3 wide. Made a
Wow.
few positions up as you see Brett Bennett there making a big move.
Yeah, Brett Bennett going to the lead. He's not usually one that we see up front, but the chatter in the Discord today was that this is his best track, and he's trying to prove that early on.
Ooh, that's tight there with Matthew. Wow.
Yeah, it's a little too early in the race to be squeezing up that tight. There's got to be a little bit of give and take. You got to get some laps under your belt, figure out where your truck is before you start squeezing into guys.
See, there's Joey Chapman. He's all the way up to third now, so what a great start for him in that 60 truck.
Yeah, he has been on the move. A lot of guys bobbing and weaving trying to figure out where their truck runs best. It's a little different now than in practice when you got this big pack there, and figuring out how the air makes your truck move around. Um, we've seen a lot in the updates recently, a lot of differences when a truck's in front of you or when it moves out of the way and you get the air on the front of the truck. So these guys are really just trying to feel things out, find out where their truck runs best. Looks
And
like
we
we're
mentioned how much Luis is like a plate track and sees 2x2 through most of this field here, Brian.
Yeah, and it looks like Dalton Kelly makes it 3 wide going into 3 and 4. Again, they've got the room to do it here. As long as everybody holds their line, then we're going to be in good shape.
I'm really impressed with how Matthew Rodriguez is gonna be able to hold on to this outside lane here. He's putting up a fight with Brett Bennett for this top spot.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about with Brett Bennett running really low there is it tends to wear your tires out. Did he burn up too much of his tires being down there to make that pass? He's going to get to the top side now. They're going to swap lanes on the track. See if this helps him out complete the pass.
That was a pretty normal crossover move for Matthew Rodriguez. He's gonna clear to the lead as we see the sun starting to poke out now as Joey Chapman trying to get to the bottom of Rodriguez as he fights with Bennett.
It's definitely some give and take here on your own truck too, right? Everybody's running the best that they're going to run. right at the beginning of a run. You have fresh tires, tons of grip. The name of the game is to not burn it up faster than the guys around you, because eventually the tires will wear out, and you're going to start to see the guys that didn't burn their stuff up are going to start to walk away a little bit. But this draft is important, like you were saying at the beginning of the broadcast.
And another thing is, since it is the very start of the race, some of these guys need to figure out how their truck handles, and they might realize that it's not exactly what they predicted, so might need a pit stop here to change what's going on with their trucks. See Alonso Chicano all the way up to third. He's racing Cam Caldwell up top.
That's Alonso Chicano in the 25, and he's always somebody you got to keep an eye on any track you go to. He does a really good job, and with a fixed setup, it's all driver. Everybody's got the same equipment, same setup. It's all up to the driver at this point.
Man, these guys are racing really hard back here behind Matthew Rodriguez.
Yeah, they are definitely pushing it. I wouldn't be
Alonso's still right on that wall.
I wouldn't be surprised to see us three wide here for second. And Alonso clears out for second. He looks like he's going to go after Matthew Rodriguez in the 57. Alonso's still, like you said, running that high line. Rodriguez is coming in low and washing up in front of Chicano. Chicano looks like he gives him a little tap, gets a little squirrely.
Yeah, looked like a big block there from Rodriguez coming across the finish line.
I think Alonso really wants to get up there and lead this thing and make a statement. So, yeah, he loses second there to Joey Chapman, but he's going to go right back after him. Brett Bennett's still hanging in the top 5. He's running 4th right now, but he's under attack by Cam Caldwell for that position. Cam Caldwell, I believe he started 5th, and he's been running 5th. So that's kind of what you want to watch out for. He hasn't moved forward. He hasn't really moved back. He's just kind of maintaining. So that tells me that he's probably taking good care of his equipment.
Yeah, and he's been so consistent all season long, and he's rebounded from several mistakes to come away with top 2 finishes in every race this year.
You still see Dalton Kelly riding there in 6th. Um, again, hasn't really moved too far. Um, moved up a little bit, but then kind of fell back. But he's pretty much stayed right down there on the bottom.
Joey Chapman's getting around Alonso Chicano for second. He's using that bottom lane, and he's trying to look under Rodriguez now for the top spot. Can't quite get to that quarter panel yet.
And it looks like we are 10 laps in, and these guys look like they're still stuck to the track pretty good. I haven't seen anybody really pushing too much coming off a 2 or 4, but I would expect sometime in the next 5 laps you're going to see the handling start to slip a little bit on some of these trucks.
Yeah, and one thing I've mentioned earlier was the sun coming out, and we keep seeing a little bit of cloud cover going down the back straightaway, and that can really change how these guys handle going into turn 3 and just the dynamic of this race as it continues to go on.
Yeah, I would. If I was out there running this fixed setup, I would be excited to see the sun. I would hoping that it would make the track a little greasier, free my truck up a little bit, maybe help it get through the corner a little bit better later in the run. But um, we'll see if that sun really peaks itself out, or if it's going to duck back behind the clouds. Um, and for the folks watching at home, it's very much like it is in real life. The weather and track temperature affects how these trucks drive. This isn't your Daytona USA that you used to play in the arcade. It's the dynamic weather model definitely plays a part in how these trucks handle.
Absolutely, and we see Joey Chapman had an opportunity on the inside of Matthew Rodriguez a lap ago, but they've kind of rallied on the outside to push away from him. Now he's fighting with Alonso for second. See a lot of momentum on that top side here early on.
Yeah, Alonso's really been committed up there. I ran a race with Alonso earlier in the week in the other series, one of our pre-race or preseason races, and we were at Las Vegas, and him and I both committed to the top side, and it takes a little while, uh, and you really need the trucks to go away in order for the top line to really start coming in and build that momentum. But he's committed to it early. He's kind of shown his hand up there, but we'll see if it plays out for him in the long run. We're starting to see guys get more single file, and that could be because tires are wearing out, or they're it's white knuckle when you're side by side, lap after lap after lap, and sometimes you just got to fall in line and settle in a little bit.
Yeah, and speaking of settling in, the top two drivers here are Sky Motorsports teammates, and then after that is three Radius Racing trucks right behind them. So very interesting to see how these team dynamics are going to play out here at the front.
Yeah, and it's like we see at Daytona and Talladega. Right now we're 14 laps in. We have not had a caution yet, which is great. But it and we're going to have a stage break here, I believe, around lap 30, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but if we have green flag pit stops later in the race, because this is such an aero dependent track, you're going to want to pit with your teammates. So there's going to be a lot of coordination there. So, like you said, teammates running 1-2, then Radius Racing running behind there. They're kind of content just staying with each other and just kind of laying it out. Um, I was just informed there's no stages. So this is, wouldn't that be something if this went green all the way to the end?
First couple races of the season actually were pretty cautionless. I think Daytona only had two and just one at California. So this league has been pretty tame early on, but we've had back-to-back races of cautions pretty much throughout the event. So it would be interesting to see it run green all the way, especially a track like this.
Yeah, that would be wild. So that's going to make pit stops really play into the fold under green flag if we continue to go green flag racing. So, but it shows you the quality of the racing that we have here in the pits. Racing News Truck Series. These guys race around each other year round. They learn each other. They learn who to push, who not to push, how to race around each other, and that really makes for a great racing product. And you as the title sponsor of the series got to be really proud about that.
Of course, it's been really great to see the series evolve and grow. And like I mentioned earlier, the car counts or the truck counts continue to grow every week. And it's just so fun to see new people in the league. And of course, doing this and just seeing all the excitement every week leading up to it.
Yeah, it's just really incredible to see these guys putting on the show that they are, we still got Matthew Rodriguez, who is pretty much led every lap. I don't know if Brett Bennett was credited with leading a lap there earlier on. He's kind of, looks like we got a caution. The 77 of, I believe that was Clarence Feldner. Let's see if we can dial that back up. Let's see if we can back it up and take a quick peek at what happened here. Looks like the 97 just got tight and came off the wall and got the 77.
Man, that was a big hit. Good to see them both continue on, though.
So what do you think? Do you think this sets us up for pit stops?
Oh, I think most of the field will pit here, if not everyone. Get fresh tires on, and we might see another exciting sprint here for another run.
So we made it 18 laps on that run, and you could see right there at the end, you know, with the 97 truck there, uh, getting getting a little tight coming off a turn two and um, making contact with the 77. So here we are. We're coming down to pit road. Give you guys a nice wide camera angle. See how many pit stops we can get here. We've got the leader of Matthew Rodriguez, the 60 of Joey Chapman. Like you said, Joey really made some ground, and he's been running right there in the top three the entire race.
Well, unfortunately, though, he had to back up to get into his pit stop, but see, Feldner now coming to his pit stop
Oh,
late. Unfortunately, tailed the field with his incident. See, one driver stayed out. Looks like Scott
no.
Roush.
Oh, looks like Matthew Rodriguez is going to get off first. Cam Caldwell made up some ground on pit road, came in fifth, and looks like he's going to go out second. Let's let's dial up Kyle Reuter. Hey, Kyle, Brian Haynes and Adam Kuhn up in the booth. How was it that first run?
Hey guys, how you doing? It was good. Definitely could tell that people were starting to fall off there towards the end of that run, but I tell you what, I got lucky on that crash there. I drove right through it somehow on the outside, so uh, overall it was a good run though.
How long are these trucks going before the tires start to slip away on you guys?
I'd say about 9, 10 laps into the run, you really start to catches you off guard. It'll start to get really tight on you.
Yeah, it looks like the pack is staying really tight. What do you think your game plan is here on out? Just kind of keep the nose clean. You want to get up there and run with the leaders, or what's the game plan?
You know, I don't really know yet. I'm kind of just riding around at this point. I know I'm not really great at this track, so I'm just gonna ride around and hope I can hang with the leaders here and make a couple moves towards the end of the race.
Sounds good. Well, it looks like you guys are doubling up to go back green. We'll let you get back to it. Good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good one. All right, and that was Kyle Ritter in the BKM number 9. Good to hear, and good for us to know kind of when things are starting to slip for these drivers uh, as they as they start out on a run. So it looks like around 9, 10 laps in, they're starting. I'll tell you what, looking from our broadcast booth, I mean these guys are making it look really easy. What do you think, Adam?
Oh yeah, it definitely didn't look like the leaders up front had anything wrong with their trucks, but we saw in the back, Mike Tellier had an issue with his. He got tight and unfortunately collected Clarence Feldner, so that's why we're under this caution here. But maybe, hopefully, he's adjusted to his truck, and everyone else who struggled found something there on this pit stop to make it better here for this next run.
It looks like we're going to be coming to green here. The pace truck drops down to the bottom. We're coming out of turn 4. The field's in the hands of Matthew Rodriguez and Cam Caldwell, and he wastes no time taking off. Gets a good jump. Now, just like Daytona and Talladega, you got to be careful getting a big jump because that draft will lure those second and third and fourth place trucks in really quick.
Yeah, and we see Cam Caldwell, he was able to jump ahead of the rest of the field there. He's ahead of Jason Garcias, I believe, there for third.
Yep.
Garcias, excuse me.
And he's going to go right after Matthew Rodriguez going into turn 3. Got a
And he's going
huge
to clear
run.
him.
Huge run. And it looks like he's going to bring Jason Gracias with him. David Durand right there trying to make something happen, but he's getting slowed up behind Matthew Rodriguez. Uh, These guys, you could throw a blanket over the top 5 right now. And it looks like Brett Bannett is trying to come back into the fray as well as Alonso Chicano. You know Alonso isn't going to be content to stay back there.
Yeah, especially now with him seeing Cam Caldwell out front. Those two are in the fight for the points right now in the standings, as we see Matthew Rodriguez almost had a shot to get to the outside of Caldwell, but he's now clear of him again, coming down this front straightaway.
You know, it's so tough because you know you get these runs, and sometimes they come in the worst spots, but you don't want to waste a run. You don't want to get out of the throttle because it'll slow you down even more. Sometimes you just gotta point your truck wherever the truck in front of you isn't, just to save from slowing yourself up.
Man, that was almost a moment there off it too. It looked like Caldwell had to block the bottom to protect from Gracias, and Rodriguez has a huge momentum with a push from David Duran possibly. So these two are side by side going through 3 and 4.
See if it ends up going 3 wide here with Jason Gracias in the middle. He's thinking about it.
Joey Chapman here, he's trying to get in this fight now. Bunch of trucks here fighting for this top position.
Yeah, Matthew Rodriguez is trying to run 2 lines to keep the 24 and the one behind him, and Joey Chapman and one of Jason Gracias.
Caution, yellow flag.
They were.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna work too long. That looked inevitable. Yeah, definitely looked like it was gonna happen sooner or later.
Yeah, they looked like they were arguing over the same piece of real estate. Let's take a closer look here. They're 3 wide here, and Chapman just bumps him and bumps him again, and
That was such minor contact too to send them around.
yeah, unfortunately, that's really going to mess up Joey Chapman. The one looks like he'll probably be able to continue.
They were both very fortunate the caution flew for that, considering neither one of them really spun on the racetrack. They both kind of slid down to the inside wall. And Chapman got the inside wall pretty good, but like I mentioned, off the track, so pretty lucky to get a caution after all that.
Yeah, you're right. It's something that we've really worked on in both truck series is managing cautions, and the admins. And in this case, the admins are in the race as well, so it's a challenge. They're racing as well as potentially throwing yellow flags, and we've really tried to develop gentlemen's agreements on when the caution flag should fly and when it shouldn't. So you're right. They spun off of the racing surface. The field had already moved on. So they're very fortunate that we got a caution there. So looks like we're going to have a few takers on pit road. And this, it's always interesting when you have a quick caution after another caution, because it's really going to start to shuffle the pit strategy.
Yeah, that was very interesting. First of all, we saw Matt Rodriguez scored as the race leader, considering he and Cam Caldwell were side by side when the caution came out. So that was very interesting to see him put out front, and then him coming down pit road, Rodriguez that is, and Cam not following him was very interesting. He kind of faked out, and no one really followed him for another few trucks back, as we see these guys coming off pit road, just a handful of them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Matthew Rodriguez and Zach Probst and Dalton Kelly can drive back up through the field. They're certainly going to make it interesting for us.
Oh, absolutely. Matthew played a completely different strategy at California a couple weeks ago, and he was kind of able to rebound just a little bit, but eventually he got the wall, so it was a disappointing night for him at the end of it all.
Yeah, certainly a disappointing end to the night for sure. As the field gets single file, they're probably going to go double file here. We'll try and get on the next caution. We'll get the boss man Josh Capernal in here. Normally he's up here running his JCTV booth, but he turned the reins over to Adam and I tonight, so he could be out there and race with the guys. Really good to see Josh out there and having a good time. He does a lot of he does a lot of great work for this series and promoting the series and doing these broadcasts. We miss having you up here, Josh. I'm doing my best with my amateur setup here to make you proud, but really cool to see him out there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw, these guys pick for the restart, the choose rule, and really interesting. A lot of people picking the top, including Josh. But because of that, you see Matthew Rodriguez jump up a ton of spots by picking the bottom. So let's see what's going to happen here on this restart. As there you see that 42 Chevy Silverado.
And the field's all doubled up, and yeah, that choose rule has really created a lot of opportunity for guys, and this we're seeing it right now with Rodriguez taking the inside lane. He's got a good truck. He's taking care of it, and I have no doubt that he's gonna be able to make some moves through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway to get himself in good position going into 3 and 4. Because that's really what you're trying to do. You need to be in position in 3 and 4 because that's when the truck is really up to speed. So we'll see how this restart goes. Looks like the field is in the hands of Cam Caldwell,
Green flag,
and he's
green
going.
flag.
Durant was
See Matthew
all over him.
Rodriguez 3 wide.
Yeah, he washes right up the track. He's trying to build that momentum. We got Alonso Chicano, looks like, pushing up there into second, getting by David Duran. Brett Bennett back up to fourth. They swing it wide into 3, really trying to get the RPMs up on those motors. Chicano's taking a shot at Caldwell for the lead. He's going to try and slide up in front of him, thinks better of it. Caldwell got a good run there off of 4. Chicano goes down to the apron. Caldwell's going to stay right there on his corner panel, draw even with him going into 1.
It was great racing between these two. They've talked all season long about how they're going to race each other for this championship, and right here we see tight racing between them for this lead.
David
Is
Duran
wow,
wants
5 of them.
David Duran wants into this. It looks like Brett Bennett and Alexander Kerfan want a piece of the action too. So Caldwell's gonna have his hands full here. He got 4 guys chomping at the bit, ready to get up front, and it looks like Kyle Reuter, BKM owner, making some hay. Looks like he's decided he wants to move to the front a little bit. Let's check in on Josh Capernol here. Where's he running at? There he is. Got Josh. He's running in 12th. He's right in the thick of it.
Yeah, it's really a mess back here. The top 5 are separated out by themselves, but then back here it's just trying to fight to become that next guy online and lead this pack up to the leaders.
Let's check in with Matthew Rodriguez. He's right up there behind Kyle Reuter. You got Biddy right behind him in the 32. So if you're Matthew Rodriguez right now, and you know you got a little bit fresher tires than everybody, is there a sense of urgency to get to the front, or do you just kind of methodically work your way up?
For him right now in the situation he's in, I think he needs to be a little bit in an urgency mode because he's not on that much older tires compared to these guys right in front of him. It was only a handful of laps between pit stops and a caution, so we see this hectic battle for the lead up here between David Duran and Cam Caldwell.
Yeah, David Duran looks like he's going to take the lead now from Cam Caldwell. Brett Bennett right there. Brett Bennett makes contact with Chicano, and that might be all she wrote for both of those trucks.
Looks like big contact in that inside wall for the 47 truck.
Yeah, let's see.
Saw Wasteland Alonso very hard off it too.
Chicano looks like he made it away. Chicano drives away. Certainly be some words, I think, later on, and we stay under green here. David
That really
Duran.
helped Matthew Rodriguez. He's up to third now behind Durand and Caldwell.
And he looks like he's going to pressure Caldwell here and try and take the second spot. David Duran leading over Matthew Rodriguez, Cam Caldwell, Alexander Kerfan, and Kyle Reuter are your top 5.
Really impressed with this 57 truck. He's going to go on this inside of Caldwell here and really wash up a little bit, but he's going to try and keep the power down, but all those guys lined up on the outside is really going to hurt him down this back straightaway. So you see Caldwell pull away from him.
Yeah, Matthew has really impressed me with his ability to run that low line and keep the tires on the truck. But they're lining up nose to tail behind him. I think these guys know that he's probably the class of the field right now, and they need to do whatever they can to keep him behind.
Yeah, even though they all lined up on that top side, he is making ground on the bottom. Very impressive as he's got a run on Durand down this back straightaway here. Let's see what he can do against this 24 truck.
He's going to push up a little bit there to try and take the air away and get a good shot down into 3 and 4. And he clears him, and yep, he makes the slide job.
Wow, it's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Durand's not going to give up though.
No. It's hard to slide up in front and then keep them behind because they're going to build all that momentum on the outside coming off the corner. Let's see if Rodriguez can build some momentum of his own up here on the outside, but it doesn't look like anybody really wants to go with him.
Yeah, he's unfortunately a man by himself right now. These 3 are teammates he's racing against, so we saw that earlier. So let's see what he can do here by himself. He's got no teammate of Joey Chapman, excuse me, to protect him anymore. So he has the speed, obviously. Let's see if he can do it without the help of teammates.
They're getting dicey up here, that's for sure. Swapping lanes back and forth. The top 4, top 5, top 6 are right there. Let's take a ride along with Matthew Rodriguez and see what he's seeing here. As he slides down to the inside of David Duran here going into turn 1. You can really hear him modulating that throttle pedal, just getting off of it enough to get the nose pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, and right, he was the best view, obviously. Nothing but clean track in front of him, and he's loving this right now.
Absolutely. And we see Duran going back at him again, but he's certainly tight there and has to get out of the throttle.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Rodriguez has going for him is the fresher tires, so he's going to be able to use that to an advantage and pin Duran down on the bottom with the worn tires a little bit.
Let's continue rolling here through the top 5. Give the viewers a chance to see what it's like from inside the cockpit of these trucks. It's not as easy as it looks when you're seeing the TV view. Kerfan back here in 4th. And the 9 of Kyle Reuter here in 5th. The top 5 all stacked up here. And you can see, you know, when you're further back in the line and guys are just moving around, jumping all over the track in front of you, it's hard to decide where you need to be running.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see them kind of all run different lines throughout the corner. That's mainly just to get to clean air on the truck throughout the center of the corners.
And we're 41 laps in. We've had 2 cautions so far. Um, and we had another incident here not too long ago that did not result in a caution, but resulted in damage for the 47, as well as the 25 of Alonso Chicano. But his damage didn't seem to be too bad. He's running back there in 13th. I think he really just needs a caution to get closed back up to the field, maybe pull it into the pits and just get a little bit of the damage taken care of, and I think he'd be right back in this.
Yeah, that's been the theme of Alonso's season so far, unfortunately. Outside of his dominating win at Daytona, he's really had a bunch of misfortune, but luckily enough for him, he's been able to rebound and still get top 10 finishes every week and back-to-back top fives so far coming into this race. So, and obviously he was running there today before this incident, as we see Battle for the Lead continuing to heat up.
It's impressive. Like you said, Matthew Rodriguez has a little bit fresher tires than these guys he's racing in front of, but to see Duran right there pressuring him is really impressive. And Caldwell's looking like he wants to get back up there and get into it as well.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see Rodriguez. We know he was obviously fast running the pole and leading all those laps early and just coming through the field here on not much different tires. So either that says how fast he is or how important tires is, but I presume it's going to be the former.
Yeah, I agree. Radius Racing having a good showing here, second through third. Uh, Kyle Reuter, sole entry for BKM tonight, running a strong fifth right there. These Radius guys, they work really well together. So you got to imagine, they're content. They're in the top 5. They're all running good. Um, they're gonna wait until the last quarter of the race, and then I would expect to see the dial turn up pretty high on the Radius Racing guys, even racing each other.
Oh, absolutely. Right now with David in second, he's going to lead the charge with them for now, but if they realize he can't get around Rodriguez, then they're going to try and change that second place guy up and try and change the charge. And if it gets too late in the race, then they might just go off of one and see what works there, as you mentioned.
Let's take a look back in the field, see how things are stacking up back here. Got a lot of single file. The field's definitely getting strung out just a little bit here.
Yeah, and this is just the product of long run racing, and we see Jason Gracias, excuse me, they're racing with Justin Durand here mid pack.
See Alonso Chicano here. He's running pretty well considering that minor incident. He's gotten back up to speed. He's running right here with Craig Fryer, coming up on Josh Capernall in the JCTV number 42 truck. Josh having a respectable night just outside the top 10. Wouldn't be surprised if he cracks the top 10 here later in the race. Getting those laps earlier in the race under his belt, keeping the truck clean. I think he's primed for a solid top 10 finish.
Absolutely, and he was really excited to be in this race. First start for him and home track, so why not try and make it as best as he can? And he's having fun, of course.
Let's check back in with our leaders. Still got Matthew Rodriguez up front, David Duran in second, Cam Caldwell in third, Alexander Kerfan in the 30 truck running fourth, and Kyle Reuter rounds out the top 5 in the number 9 Martin BKM truck. And that top 5's really stretched it from the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to see how big of a gap they have over Zach Props. We saw him fight with Don Kelly a couple moments ago, and those guys really going at it back there for 6th, but they really need to try and get in a line and try and run these guys down. But these guys are so organized, I don't think it's going to happen here unless we get some kind of action on these pit stops.
Yeah, if we keep going green here, like we were talking about earlier, we're gonna be looking at green flag pit stops. I like to see the green flag pit stops because there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. Do you pit early? Do you pit later? I've seen at the mile and a halfs where it being the earlier ones to pit tends to benefit you more than pitting later. But we'll see if we get to that point where we're going to have green flag pit stops. And these guys they'll run these tires right to the ragged edge. It's going to be the fuel that brings them in.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see how far these guys can go. And what I assume the radius guys are going to all pit together, but that's going to leave Matthew Rodriguez out there for quite a few laps by himself if Kyle Lauder comes in with those guys. He probably can't go as long as Rodriguez can either. So what will Matthew do here as we see another move from Duran going into turn 3?
And the other thing too for Rodriguez is he doesn't want to get caught all by himself, even though he can go longer. He's kind of got to be watching his mirror, or if he, it'd almost benefit him to not be leading so he can follow them into the pits. We know that he's capable of taking the lead, but the draft plays a part here. You don't want to go into the pits by yourself and come out all by yourself.
Oh, I got very tight there from Duran there on the inside of Rodriguez. So we see them start to line up again on the outside.
Yeah, we saw Duran getting really, really tight earlier on, and you see him on board here, really tight there against Matthew Rodriguez, but making that run, drops down to the apron here.
Caution, yellow flag.
And it looks like we have a caution.
And that's going to throw all of that pit stop talk out in
Yep.
terms of green flag pitting.
Do we know what that caution was for? Maybe the 50 truck? Let's take a look back here and see. No, it doesn't. I don't know what that caution was for. Well, now they're going to come in and do their service, but I don't think even with this pit stop they can make it the whole way. They're going to have another pit stop here before the end of the race. So we still have a chance of potentially seeing some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, I think you're right. And one interesting thing here is David Duran, the leader, as we see him and Matthew Rodriguez side by side coming down pit road. That's very interesting here.
After we get done with pit stops here, we'll pull Josh Capernahl and the number 42 truck down here into the booth and see how his race is going. How's that sound, Adam?
Sounds great. I'm excited to hear how he's doing tonight.
Race off pit road. Looks like Duran gets it over Cam Caldwell. Cam Caldwell has had excellent pit stops tonight. It looks like Capernahl's off pit road, so let's pull him into the booth.
Jump ahead of line.
Hey, Josh Capernahl, Brian Haynes, and Adam Kuhn up in the booth. Hey, we just wanted to check in with you, see how your race is going.
Oh, man, it's going. That wreck there was a little interesting to dodge, but just prayed, made it through.
We missed what happened. Tell us what happened.
Somebody hit the wall. I'm not sure who, and they just went all down, and it was kind of a last-second decision on my end on whether or not to go low or go high. I went high. apparently picked the right line. Alonso barely made it through. He went low himself, but yeah, truck is plowing. I need to save tires a little bit, but otherwise, JCTV truck's doing pretty good.
Yeah, you look like you're having fun out there. You're running just outside the top 10. I was telling Adam, I think if you keep your nose clean, you might be primed for a top 10. But you're looking good out there. Definitely seeing the guys. Everybody's plowing. So, but good luck rest of the way. Thanks for trusting Adam and I with the keys to the kingdom, so you can go out there and have fun and race.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys so much. I am having a lot of fun.
All right. Well, good luck, Josh, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end.
Thank you.
And that was number 42 of Josh Capernall, owner of JCTV, our broadcast provider for tonight. So good to have him out there and having a good time. Sounds like he's having fun, Adam.
Absolutely, I thought he would, and very glad to hear him with excitement for this league, and very glad he's having fun out there, and very glad to hear he's trusted us.
I know. I don't know what he was thinking. Well, the field's doubled back up here. We're gonna restart him here with 55 laps in. Another 45 laps to go. And I think we're going to see a lot of really good hard racing here in the last half of this race, really throughout the whole field, but definitely up front.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We see another beneficiary of the choose rule is Zach Props. He's went from 5th all the way up to the front row here on this restart. So let's see what he can do up at the front of the field.
Green, green, green.
And here we go. Alonso Chicano made some moves there in the pits. Went from 13th all the way up to 7th. So, well, I guess we're going to find out what kind of shape that truck's in. But he's not holding back right now. Already up to 4th. We see the 60 truck.
The lead, wow.
60 truck, a Joey Chapman back up there. We saw him involved in one of those early cautions. So, looks like he's made repairs to that truck, and he's running right there in 5th.
Cam Caldwell took the lead from Duran there into turn 3, and he's clear of him and Alonso Chicano.
And we got a slow truck up high in turn 1. They're going to tell him to stay high. Hopefully everybody makes it through. It looks like they're going to.
Yeah, it's a pretty hairy situation. Fastest corner of the racetrack, too.
Yeah. Alonso Chicano on the inside of Duran for 2nd. And we got the 57 of Matthew Rodriguez drawing up there in the fourth position.
Yeah, let's see what he's able to do here. Back on equal tires, but we know he should be the fastest truck of the race. So let's see if he can get around this Radius Racing trio up front. So we see them almost 3 wide.
Chicano really wants to get back out front and lead this. You know that he's frustrated with the contact with the 47 of Brett Bennett, but he's running good. The truck doesn't seem to be hurt too bad. He's up front leading this race right now. And he's going to clear with authority over Cam Caldwell. See if he can keep Cam behind him. He's going to drop right down to the bottom. Come back up. Hold off any run from Cam Caldwell. But it looks like the 57 is going to catch that draft off the 25 and pull even with Cam Caldwell.
That was a pretty great move for Alonso there to get to the lead. Pretty good statement there. He wants to get this lead and run away with it, but we know that it probably won't happen here with the way this race is going to play out, as we see Rodriguez fall behind Caldwell for 2nd.
Yeah, I think it helps Alonso having his teammates there, and Cam Caldwell, and just trying to take care of each other on the track. Me and my buddies that I race with in real life, as well as on the sim, especially when we're in races with a lot of other people. It's always take care of each other, and that means just watch each other's back, race each other hard, race each other clean. Um, there's you're gonna be under attack enough from other teams, other drivers. You got to take care of each other, and these radius guys really do a good job of taking care of each other out there.
Yeah, and if we can see Joey Chapman get back up in this fight, maybe he can help Matthew Rodriguez as we see him right behind him, here going down this front straightaway.
Yeah, let's check in here with Joey Chapman. Like I said, he had some damage there earlier on. He's up here in the top 10. Oh, got a little squirrely up there. The 24 Duran. Not sure what happened there.
Looked like Rodriguez also got loose, and we see Josh Coppono able to take advantage of this here.
Let's swing back and see if we can see real quick what happened here with the 24 truck. Oh, the 24
Ooh,
truck
got
got
the
into the
wall.
wall. He's got a lot of right front
It
damage
looked
there.
like the 30. The 30 got on the fence too, and Rodriguez had to make a big move to avoid him. Saw a little bit right side damage on that 24 truck.
Yeah, that's not going to help the truck get around the track. We got Alonso Chicano back up front with Cam Caldwell and the 57 of Matthew Rodriguez, who has been the class of the field the entire race, running there in third. Let's see if maybe him and Zach Probst in the 62 can line up and catch a draft and catch back up to these two.
Mentioned earlier, Zach Probst got up on that front row with the restart, falling to fourth, as you mentioned. And his only good run of the season, unfortunately, in the first handful of races has been a third place finish at California. So, like we keep mentioning, similar kind of track, but pretty good solid night. He unfortunately couldn't race at Bristol last minute and collected in a crash on lap 1 last week. So, good run for him so far tonight. Just behind these guys for the lead.
And we see Rodriguez drawing up on the 12 of Cam Caldwell. Caldwell is going to look to the inside of Alonso Chicano. He's going to take that inside lane. Rodriguez is going to stay to the top, try and build that momentum and draft behind Alonso Chicano. See what they do here down the back straightaway. I know they're itching. They would love to go 3 wide, but they know the dangers of it. The camera view here doesn't do it justice of how tight these guys are getting in the corner later in the run. They're barreling into turns 3 and turn 1 with a ton of speed and wanting to make a pass, but having to get back out of the throttle so they don't slide up and door the guy on the outside of them.
And that's going to be a really big issue, as that's probably what led to both Duran and Kuffin getting in the wall a couple laps ago, I believe. As we see now, Alexander Kuffin in pit road, so he's losing a ton of positions after being in the top 5 here.
Yeah, we see Kurfan pulling off pit road now, making his way around, but the field is coming up quick. And with them in a pack with a draft, they're certainly going to have a chance of catching him. So tough break for Kurfan for sure. And looks like we got a fight for the lead here. The 57 truck of Rodriguez is going to get to the outside of Alonso Chicano.
We've seen Matthew run that higher line all night long. Alonso too, but now he's on the back foot here as these two continue to race side by side.
Yeah, I was really surprised that Chicano gave up that outside lane. He's going to slide back up in front, but you're going to see the 57 get a run right here, drop right down to the apron. But I think Alonso's going to let him have the inside. He's going to stay right up here. And if you're the guy on the outside, you see Alonso there, he kind of comes down a little bit. You can sometimes pinch that guy if he doesn't want to go too low, but Kurfan proved he can go right to the bottom and come back up and have a good run.
Yeah, that was a great move by Matthew Rodriguez. They cleared Alonso by a ton ton of track space, track position, excuse me, but Alonso was able to run him down. Kind of a big moment there going in the corner as he gets pressure from Cameron Caldwell now.
And your top five is Matthew Rodriguez, Alonso Chicano, Cam Caldwell, Zach Probst with a good run after a couple of rough weeks, and the number 9 of Kyle Reuter rounding out the top 5. And that's Josh Capernall, who has driven his way all the way up into the 6th spot. I think maybe we're a little bit of good luck for him, Adam.
Yeah, it's great to see him up here. Very fun to see him. I'm sure he's having a blast, even better than what he was having before. Now trying to run down those top 5 guys.
Yeah, it looks like if the 44 of Willis can stay right there with him, and they can get nose to tail, maybe they can pick up enough speed. But it looks like the 44 truck just wants to get on the outside of him and maybe get by him.
Yeah, pretty solid day for both these guys, both in their debuts tonight.
And the top 5 remains the same, and they're all pretty much right there, with about two truck lengths between each one of them. You can see they really close up at the end of the straightaway. They're all going in a straight line real well, closing right up in on each other, sharing the draft. It's the corners that really start to make a big difference later in the run. And there's so many different ways that you can drive this. You know, there's guys that'll drive hard into 1 and 3 and then lift off of it. There's guys that'll really back the corner up and start lifting as they're coming to the end of the straightaway, and kind of just roll it into the corner and then pick up the throttle quicker. There's a lot of different ways, and it's whatever works best for your style wherever you're getting speed.
Yeah, and as we saw a lap ago at the end of turn 3, Zach Probst got a run on Cam Caldwell, and he was able to get to the inside, but he wasn't able to make it stick there on the bottom, and Cam was able to clear him off back off of 4.
Let's take a ride with Alonso Chicano now that he's back up front here. See what he's seeing with Matthew Rodriguez out in front of him.
Right there, you can really tell how much he gains at the end of these straightaways.
And you can see Alonso is one of those guys that he drives it down in there hard, lifts a little bit just to get the truck pointed in the right direction, and then he's right back into it. So his truck's really handling well, so he's really taking care of his equipment. Riding back here behind Matthew Rodriguez. And right there you see him, as soon as that truck's pointed in the right direction, he's picking up the throttle. He's going to use all of the track. And we got a 5-car breakaway at the front, and then we have two trucks of the 44 and the 42, and then quite a ways back is really the rest of the field. So the field's really strung out into 2 big packs and a 2-car tandem in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, this is just the product of the long runs, and we see the best trucks are all going to be stuck together up front with the way the aero is here on this big track, and everyone else just kind of spread out with the way the tire fall off.
And we're coming up on 3/4 of the way done with this race. We got a slow truck up here on the outside. Looks like all the leaders are going to be able to get by without any incident. But you know, if it stays green, you know, those green flag pit stops that we keep talking about, and then a caution comes out, it could really play a hand into who wins this race. But if they get a chance to come in and under caution and really do a 10-15 lap sprint to the end of the race, I think that would be really exciting.
Yeah, we saw a situation similar to that a week ago in Las Vegas, and the big beneficiary of that was Tom Bourne, who was able to get his first win. But because of that, the guy who led the most laps of the race was, or the dominant guy towards the end was able to not, was unfortunate enough to lose, and it's just the way it all happens at the end of these races when cautions come out and can kind of flip the dynamic of the races on their heads.
Yeah, it certainly can. You can be hoping for a caution, and to give yourself a chance. Uh, but sometimes it doesn't end up going the way that you hoped. I had that happen to me this last year at Richmond. Alonso Chicano pretty much had the field covered, but on the long run, I could match him for speed, and we got a late caution. I was running third, and uh, I really didn't need the caution. I was passing for second for when the caution came out, and we did the restart on the caution, and I got run over from behind, and unfortunately finished well outside the top 10 as a result. So cautions sometimes they help you, sometimes they hurt you.
Absolutely, and we saw there a moment ago, Alonso Chicano and Cam Caldwell swap positions inside the top three here. See if Cam can run down this 57 truck.
We'll see if Cam's been maybe saving something for the 57 truck. Let's take a look on board with Cam Caldwell as he tries to run down this 57 truck. Looks like he's got some speed still in that truck. '57 trying to break the draft a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're calling it right. He's trying to snake down the back straightaway, and so Cam can't get close enough. But not working, this 12 truck looks to be faster here on this long run.
Yeah, he's really drawn up in on the 57 truck here. Really got a good run here going on into turn one. It'll be interesting to see how he handles it going into one. He goes all the way to the bottom, and he makes it hook. He makes it stick. Really impressive run right here from Cam Caldwell. You're gonna go right to the tippy top, drop it right down to the bottom, really arcing that corner to give him the best drive off. Should have a pretty good run right here.
Yeah, he's really driving around the racetrack while Rodriguez is just pointing his truck in one direction and making it stick. Huge run here for the 12.
Let's see how they look coming out turn two. 12 makes a stick, but he had to get out of it just a little bit to prevent pushing up into the 57. And that allows the 25 Alonso Chicano to come back up close to them.
Yeah, Alonso caught a ton though because of that. He was really not too far back, but as you mentioned, closed right up on the back bumper of his teammate here.
Yeah, we've seen repeatedly here where if two trucks get side by side, the amount of air, the hole that they punch in the air, really benefits that car that's behind them, and that's what we saw happen there with Chicano. He was able to really pull right up to their back bumpers, but Caldwell's going to go right back after him.
Yeah, but he's gonna continue to find that that bottom's not gonna be probably not gonna be the way to get around him. At least this deep in the run, his truck's probably gonna be too tight. Unless he really
Oh,
ships it in there like that.
yeah,
Pretty tight action up here.
he mailed that one in there. I was surprised he didn't. He hasn't fallen back with as much as he had to get off of it. What do you think? Is Cam wanted to close that hole. He wanted to get to the outside of the 57.
Yeah, now he's trying to search around the track and trying to find a different way around him. It looks like.
We got about 19 laps to go here, so we're drawing in on the end of this thing.
Yeah, if you can't get around him on the bottom, and I probably won't be able to at this rate, try those other lanes and see what they can do. As we see,
Oh,
57 coming into a pit stop.
looks like pit stops are going to start. 57 is going in. It's going to be interesting to see where he comes back out onto the track and when these radius guys go. We got Kyle Reuter running now in third behind Cam Caldwell and Alonso Chicano. I have to imagine that the 9 and the 9 truck is going to come in with these two radius guys. And it looks like the 44 is already pit because he is slicing through these guys. And here comes Caldwell, Chicano, and Reuter.
Oh, that's a lot of speed out of that 25. That's going to work really well, or he might get a penalty for that. So
Yeah, it looked like him and the 9 both came in really hot. Josh Capernall is our leader right now.
really cool to see him here leading laps in his debut, as we keep mentioning, and of course home track. Right now, scary situation. 3 wide into turn 3, backs out of it, lets Strand and Foden to go.
Yeah, he's got guys that have already pit that are just working to get their lap back right now. So it looks like the 42, 29, and 79 have yet to pit. It looks like the 79 is in the pits now. Matthew Rodriguez is in 6th, so he's cycling through ahead of Cam Caldwell, Zach Probst, Alonso Chicano, and Kyle Reuter. Doesn't look like there's any penalties. So it looks like Chicano and Reuter made it through without a penalty. So impressive pit road entry for both of them because we saw them come in extremely hot. Let's take a look here at the 57. There's some distance between him and Cam Caldwell.
Yeah, and
Here.
that's probably just the 1 lap difference between them pitting.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to wonder how much is this going to hurt Josh Capano running this really long stint. And we saw him just outside the top 5, so unfortunately he's probably going to lose a ton of spots here, staying out really long unless he gets lucky with a caution. Actually, I believe he came down pit road already, right?
Who is that?
42? Was he just down a moment ago?
Yep, I think he just went in, so
Okay. See how this cycles out then.
right now we have Dawson Allen and Dalton Kelly that are cycled to the front of this field right now. Oh, we're still showing the 42 in the lead. My ticker, I thought, had him in the pits.
Yeah, I thought I saw him on pit road too for a moment, but I guess he's still out there. Looks like he's got a little bit of right side damage. I don't know how long ago he picked that up, but right
Yeah,
side looks a little scraped.
you know, maybe Capernal just did a splash and go. Maybe he stayed on those tires, because I see a pit time for him for 8.8 seconds, where it looks like everybody else. Well, Caldwell 1.4 seconds, Zach Probst 9.6 seconds, Alonso Chicano 0.7 seconds. So it looks like they all splash and go. So Capernal is still your leader right now, with Caleb McCurry in the 29 running in second. He's about 7/10 of a second back of Josh Capernal. Cam Caldwell up to third. Matt Rodriguez in fourth. Alonso Chicano in fifth. Zach Probst sixth. Kyle Reuter in seventh. Dalton Kelly in eighth. Andrew Williams
Oh
in
no,
nine. Oh, Capernal is in the pits.
he had a moment coming on pit road too, kind of jerked to the right last moment, but I think he hit the
Oh,
commitment line fine, but then that happened.
just missed his pit stall. That hands the lead over the 29 of Caleb McCurry, with Cam Caldwell running in second, Matthew Rodriguez in third. We're getting down. We're in 10 laps to go. The question is McCurry going to have to make a pit stop? And he's peeling off
He's coming in
right
right
now.
now.
So that's going to turn the lead over to Cam Caldwell and Matt Rodriguez, who are side by side. This group right here. This is the race for the win right here.
Very interesting to see these top four 2x2 for the win here in the final, coming to 10 to go here in Michigan.
We're actually at 9 to go now. 9 to go.
We see already that inside line starting to get tight with the 12 and 62 there.
Let's see what the 25 of Alonso Chicano is seeing with this big group of four. They are all right there. If this doesn't remind you of Daytona and Talladega racing, I don't know what does. And we see a slow car up there ahead. Chicano's going to move down to the inside. Rodriguez thought about blocking the move, but thought better of it. Chicano a little tight getting into the corner. These guys are absolutely pushing it to the limit with these trucks right now. Cameron Caldwell is your leader. Alonso Chicano taking over second for Matthew Rodriguez.
Saw right there how big of a lead these guys have, over 6 seconds to fifth place Kyle Reuter. So it's going to be up between these four unless something happens here in the closing laps with a caution that would really change this up.
Rodriguez going back after Chicano for second. Zach Probst having an outstanding run, staying right up there with these guys, right there in fourth. Absolutely can be a factor in the end of this race. Caldwell stretching his lead out just a little bit here. We got their teammate of Alexander Kerfan, who's slow on the speedway right in front of him. We'll see if he can pick up a draft and use that to propel him forward a little bit more.
Yeah, and we also see Zach Probst, he's starting to lose touch on these guys in the top three, so could be very unfortunate for him here if this continues to go this way.
Chicano's going to jump up, see if he can catch a draft off that 30 going into turn 1.
Yeah, it looked like Kerfan really rolled out of the gas there and let these guys go, but that still allowed Rodriguez to catch right back up to Caldwell.
Looks like Rodriguez and Chicano are looking to make another charge here at Caldwell. Five laps to go this time around.
These three are just stacked on top of each other. This is going to be a very exciting one to the finish here, Brian.
Yeah, I'm at the edge of my seat just wondering which shoe's going to drop first. And Caldwell's got
I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm really curious what Rodriguez is going to do here, if he's going to make the move first or if Alonso's going to try and shuffle him out of the way.
Yeah, if you're Caldwell, you got to play defense, but you can't be too defensive because that's how bad things end up happening. You throw a bad block and it's game over. Chicano staying up high again, using these slower cars to get a draft and really shoot back down to the bottom. Trying to carry as much speed as he can through the corners.
Man, Rodriguez never left Caldwell's back bumper there through 1 and 2.
No, he
Caldwell
didn't.
ran a completely different line, and Rodriguez followed right in his tire tracks.
Three laps to go right now, and top three are right there nose to tail. Rodriguez taking a look to the inside of Caldwell. He's going to get side by side. Tell you what, like we said, if they stay side by side, and they don't right here, but Caldwell's going to cross him over, that's going to allow Alonso Chicano to draw right up there with these guys. And then Chicano
That
needs
was a great move for Rodriguez there, but as you mentioned, Caldwell with the crossover. What's going to happen here? He's tight on the bottom. See if Alonso's going to follow him through.
Alonso's right behind him, giving him a push. 2 to go. Rodriguez is not going to have any help. These guys are teammates, and they're going to help each other before they help themselves. But it's at the point now where it's help yourself, and we got 2 slower cars up in front of the leaders. Oh, a little contact between Chicano and Rodriguez. They keep going. They're right there, the top 3 nose to tail. These 2 slower cars are going to potentially throw a monkey wrench in the end of this race. But Caldwell's leading with Alonso Chicano second, Matthew Rodriguez third, and we are about to get the white flag. The white flag is in the air. 1 more lap to settle it.
Caldwell trying to sweep the 2-mile races this season. California winner a couple weeks ago, but
Wow.
Rodriguez, huge bend. 3 wide for a second.
Rodriguez pushed Chicano into turn 1. They're giving no quarter at this point of the race. Last 2 corners, Rodriguez sails it in there on Caldwell, gets tight, has to get out of it. Chicano pulls to the inside. These guys are going to race right down. They're touching, and Rodriguez pounds the wall. Cam Caldwell takes the win, followed by Alonso Chicano. And I think
Well, I wasn't
did Rodriguez make it over the
pleasantly
line in third?
disappointed there. Another good finish here in this series, and very disappointing there for Matthew Rodriguez to lose it like that, and unfortunately crashes right there at the line.
It looks like he still picked up third. According to my telemetry, he still picked up third. He was able to get across the line, so good showing for Radius Racing, Cam Caldwell, Alonso Chicano, Matthew Rodriguez, who really had had the truck to beat all night, brings it home in third.
Yeah, Matthew was obviously the class of the field tonight, and he's going to be really disappointed with a couple spots short, and he's probably going to be thinking what he could have done differently here in these final laps. Had the lead late, but lost it to two teammates here. Here we see them start to celebrate on the front straightaway.
The infamous Radius Racing celebrations on the front straightaway. No doubt we'll see a lot of pictures of this later on in the Discord. It looks like they're gonna push Cam Caldwell through the grass, put him right on victory lane here on the front straightaway. All right, well, we've got Matthew Rodriguez in pre-interview. Adam, do you want to bring him in and talk to Matthew Rodriguez?
Yeah, let's absolutely talk to him.
Hey, Matthew Rodriguez, this is Brian Haynes and Adam Kuhn up here in the booth. Came away with a third tonight. You're pretty much the class of the field tonight. How about those last couple of laps?
I can't say anything in here that won't get me banned.
Um,
I'll just say this one thing where it's kind of surprising that I see Radius Racing celebrating as a team, where if they'd actually worked as a team this race, they would have been 5 seconds ahead of me. I've never seen someone or just a team be so more dysfunctional where they couldn't work to push ahead. You guys saw it multiple times. We were 4 cars. I got me and then 3 other Radius Racing cars, and they'll race each other side by side. It's just I don't get it.
yeah, those Radius trucks were definitely up there towards the front, and working together and working against each other. But you yourself, you took you went to the back there, a little different pit strategy, and we said we wanted to keep an eye on you, and you were able to come back to the front. It looks like you really got this place figured out.
Yeah, I had some help from Bronson and Shane. They taught me how to run the place, and I was extremely happy about that. Um, I think maybe the misconception was that I got new tires on that pit stop. I was running on the same exact tires that everyone else was. I saved the set. I was expecting one of those patented last lap cautions, and it didn't happen.
Well, you did an outstanding job. I was up here thinking that you snagged an extra set of tires, but that was even more impressive that you had the same set of tires. So outstanding. Adam, do you have anything for Matthew Rodriguez?
Yeah, really great job tonight, Matthew. Unfortunately, there at the end. And can you just explain the last couple laps and what you're frustrated with?
Absolutely, I know I'm calling out your team here, so really just the last few laps. I knew it was a no-win situation because here's the thing: that point it's 2v1. There is no winning on that situation because either way, for lack of a better word, I'm I'm kind of screwed. Whether I go high or go low, Alonso's going to choose the other lane. It makes sense. It's a team strategy. I don't blame him. Uh, Coming off 4, I was a little bit frustrated. I got to look back at the replay and see exactly what happened, but either way, P3, I'm happy.
Anybody you want to shout out tonight for your run?
Yeah, obviously, team sponsors, Steak and Shake. I have to give them a thanks for A, paying me, and B, allowing me to do this for fun. Thompson Cat, Thompson Machinery, definitely a great place. You need to go rent a bulldozer to go bulldoze some people. Um, Also, Sim Speed Shop, obviously, big shout out to them. Button boxes, very great. Trying to think who else is on this car. My apologies, my head's a little bit clouded. FRN, um, obviously you guys, JCTV, Elite Performance Setups in the pits news for sponsoring the series.
Well, excellent run tonight. Sorry it didn't turn into a win, but it was a lot of fun watching you.
Uh, that's a you always run so much of these things. These things like a super speedway, it's elementary to me.
Well, great job. You made it a lot of fun for us to call, and good luck next week.
Good. Thank you.
and that was Matthew Rodriguez in the 57 truck. Up next, we're going to have the 25 of Alonso Chicano bringing it home second for Radius Racing. Alonso, great run. You had a little tangle there with the 47 truck, and thought you might have had damage. If you did, you got it fixed, and you made a statement and got back up there and took the lead.
Yeah, it's just really frustrating when people blame you saying that you dumped them when that's clearly not the case. I don't know what you guys saw but from my point of view, every single lap, like down the back straightaway off two, the 47 kept coming down, leaving the corner. I don't know why he was doing that. And when I got next to him, I even expecting him to come down a little bit, and so I gave him extra room, and he still managed to wipe himself off my bumper. So I don't know if what you guys saw, but definitely wasn't intentional off of my part. He's mad at me. I don't know why, but the admins are gonna review it, and so be it. But it's just frustrating when people try to blame you for something that you have no control of. So I am glad we got P2. Sucks that finished behind Caldwell again, but it is what it is. Gonna make this championship battle more difficult.
Well, you guys certainly made it exciting up there. Adam, you got anything?
Yeah, unfortunately, Alonso again having to go through the field to get back up front. How was that and that run to the finish with yourself, Cam, and Matthew?
Again, it's it definitely wasn't easy with the truck being so tight and you wanting to make a move, but you can't because I felt like if I go hard one lap, then my tires are gone for the rest of the race. So I was just kind of trying to stay back and let them battle it for the most part. But with a few laps to go, it was go time, and we got side by side, and it was a battle of who can kind of hold off the longest. And then again, I don't know what's up with um, Matthew there, but I guess he thought that I turned right at the start finish line, which I did not. I went back and looked at the replay, and it was just me correcting the truck when he hit me off the corner. So again, another person that seems to be blaming me for something that I feel like I didn't do. But yeah, wasn't easy. Try to have fun, but some people just make it make things more complicated.
Well, definitely an outstanding run. Some exciting racing out there. Anybody you want to shout out for your run tonight, Alonso?
Yeah, big shout out to Grid Network. We are running their new logo here tonight, both me and Cam, which is great that we finished 1-2. So it's great that we can show off that. Big shout out to In the Pits News for sponsoring us and the series. Thank you guys as well, JCTV, for broadcasting this race and letting us be able to show this to our friends and family.
Absolutely. Well, Alonso, a lot of fun watching you and the Radius team tonight. Excellent job, and look forward to seeing what you guys can do the next race.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And that was Cam Caldwell, or excuse me, the 25 of Alonso Chicano coming in second tonight. And we're going to get the number 12 of Cam Caldwell in here to speak to us now. Cam Caldwell in the number 12 truck. This is Brian Haynes up in the booth. You came away with a win tonight, man. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's really cool. It just means I swept the 2-mile tracks this season. So that was kind of the goal coming in after I won Fontana. I really wanted to win here, and I did. So that's pretty cool. It was a lot closer, but at the same time, a lot more spread out than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be much more of a pack race, but it really got strung out the longer we went. But Matt and Alonso gave me a run for it for sure at the end.
Yeah, it seemed like you, Alonso, and Matthew Rodriguez, really, you guys were just head and shoulder above the rest of the field and really up there. It seemed like at will any one of you could take the lead, get a run on the other. Made it really exciting race for us to call up here in the booth.
Yeah, I felt like I was really good at saving tires, which is a shock to me because I'm never good at saving tires. But I felt like the longer we went, the faster I got compared to everyone else. So towards the end of that run before we all pit, I was running down Matthew, and I was being patient with him, but I also wanted to get in front of him before he pit. But then he pit right as I was about to try again to pass him, um, and that completely changed my strategy because I was originally going to go fuel only at the end because we only needed about 7 or 8 more laps of fuel. And then I think the 44 pit, and he took 4 tires, and he was up there with us, kind of. He was like 3 seconds back or so. So that really got me doubting my decision. And then when Matt pit, I was like, all right, I just gotta follow him, and I think that ended up being the right call. I ended up keeping my fuel at what I had it set to for taking it fuel only. So I had a lot less fuel at the end than I thought I was going to, and I got to do a spin or two for a burnout, and that was about it. So it seems like both wins I've had this season, I ran out of fuel at the end doing burnouts. So that's interesting. I gotta figure out how to save more fuel, I guess.
Yeah, I think Adam called out towards the end that it seemed like you were really saving your stuff because we jumped on board with you when you were catching the 57, and you could tell that you had a little bit more left. Not maybe not in the gas tank, but you had a little bit more left as far as the tires went.
Yeah, I think he just kind of burning stuff up because he was racing super aggressively, trying to stay up front, stay in the lead. So I just kind of rode behind him and Alonso and just kind of stayed my stuff. And then eventually I got a really good run on Alonso, and I took it because I wanted to see if I could get in front of both of them before we all pit, because I felt like that was going to help my chances of winning the race. And then once I got behind Matt, I realized, especially in 3 and 4, he was driving in harder and he was sliding the track, whereas I could keep it pinched off low if I wanted to. So I had really good drive off compared to him. So that really helped me get a run and eventually make the pass when I needed to. I felt like I burned my tires off a little too much on the last run, and I was a little bit nervous, but I think they both did the same thing because in my mirror I watched them slide it with me. So it worked out in the end, obviously.
Outstanding. Adam, you got anything for our winner, Cam Caldwell? Well, we might have lost Adam there. Cam, anybody you want to shout out for your win tonight?
Yeah, thanks to my team, Radius Racing. Thanks to my teammates for racing. We were all working together really well. Shout out Alonso for working well. I know he wanted to win there, but we were able to work around Matt and get a 1-2. So that's cool. And shout out to David because he was kind of leading our charge there. He knew what he was doing. We were just kind of following suit. Shout out to my grandparents for watching. Shout out to all our sponsors. My main sponsor tonight, Grid, has a new logo, so we are kind of celebrating that. So it's cool to get them a win in their first race of the new logo. And both my wins have come with Grid, so that's really cool. Just got to get one with In the Pits News now, and we'll see you guys after Christmas. Hope everyone has a nice holiday.
Thanks a lot. And that was Cam Caldwell, our winner tonight at Michigan. 100 laps for the In the Pits Racing News Truck Series. Adam unfortunately stepped out of the booth. The boss man jumped in. Josh Capernall, do you have anything here after your run here in the Truck Series?
Oh man, a little disappointed to get 15th, but that was an exciting race. I'm glad that I was able to make it all 100 laps. Big thanks to Radius Racing for allowing me to be on their team and be able to run this. Brian, thank you so much as well for stepping into the booth, allowing me to have a night off and come and race. I had a lot of fun. Like I said, a little disappointed I finished 15th, but despite that, I had a lot of fun, and I'm super glad I got to do it, especially at my home track.
Well, Josh, I can tell you, it was a lot of fun watching you, seeing you up there leading laps, running inside the top 10, just outside the top 5. pit strategy at the end cycled you back. Definitely not indicative of how you ran. So glad you had a lot of fun tonight. Thanks for trusting Adam and I with the keys to the booth. It was definitely a lot of fun. A great way to go into the Christmas and holiday season and give a break to all these guys. I know everybody's going to have a lot of fun with their families, celebrating however and wherever they do. On behalf of everybody here at JCTV, Josh, myself, and Adam, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, whatever you're celebrating. And we look forward to seeing you all back here after the holidays as we have some more racing from In the Pits News Truck Series.